Hydrate yourself, everyone. You might have seen recently that my Cursive Self Improvement video has been successful and doing very well in comparison to the rest of my channel. At the start, I was understandably enjoying the success. I was enjoying seeing the views go up. I'd keep going onto YouTube Studio and just keep seeing the numbers go up and up and up every hour. But the next day, I woke up and I had this strange feeling come over me that I didn't even want to make YouTube videos anymore. You see, this is like sort of something that can happen to you if you don't let your mind think. During that during that day where my channel was blowing up, I was just thinking about the channel the whole time. My brain didn't really stop that day to make thoughts that just come and go. So when I woke up the next morning, I had this feeling of not wanting to make YouTube videos anymore. I think it was a bit of a mixture of imposter syndrome on a very small level and burnout. Over the past week, I've been working really hard on YouTube and I've been doing it every day basically. But I don't think I was giving my brain enough time to rest. So I'd just make YouTube videos and then afterwards I basically just go and distract myself with content, or I'd go read or something. I wouldn't let my mind properly relax and decompress after making the videos. Initially, I tried to get rid of this feeling by exercising. This didn't work. I got back, the thought was still there. So I just tried to distract myself for a bit and I realized that wasn't going to work. The thought was in the back of my mind and I knew I'd have to face it at some point. Oh, fucking itchy eye. So I started by journaling. I grabbed my journal and I sat down on my bed, put my phone in another room, and I sat there and journaled for like 20 to 30 minutes. I wrote maybe a page and a half, which is about three quarters of an A4 page. And I just went through and sort of asked myself why I felt this way. I felt a little bit better after that, but it was mostly the same feeling. I was still very uncertain about what I wanted to do with YouTube. Whether it was genuinely because I enjoyed making the videos and I wanted to teach people, or if I just wanted validation, money, and fame. It was only in the evening when I went for a walk with my dog that I was able to sort of decompress everything completely. I walked for about, I think it was a 15-minute walk at the most. And I could just remember the sunset and everything. Not sunset, but just the clouds were so beautiful. And I was just looking at the nature and I didn't have any technology on me and my mind was just decompressing and letting thoughts run. It was at this moment that I realized I still wanted to do YouTube. My thoughts ran through and it got rid of the problem. It was also at this moment that I came up with the idea for this video you're watching right now. Just think. We live in a world filled with distractions. Every single day, we occupy our time with distractions. Work, family, friends, our phones, our sports, our interests. All these distractions occupy our conscience. This means our thoughts aren't roaming during these times, really, especially if we get into flow states. So, when we don't let our thoughts roam throughout the day, they congest, they pack in close to each other, and it's only when we get that moment of silence where nothing is happening, usually right before bed or right when we wake up, that it, it hits. And you get this problem, this anxiety coming over you. We know that we don't want anxiety and we don't want these thoughts that are problematic because it ruins us. It's like a blockade in the path. It makes it way harder to work productively and focus on the task at hand. Pardon me. And it means we aren't able to be as present with our loved ones. And our loved ones will feel this lack of presence. They won't feel as loved by you. We don't want to be this person. We need to get rid of this quickly so that we aren't the person who's not present. We are the person that is present. So we need to get rid of these thoughts and anxiety. So how do we ensure that our thoughts are able to come and go throughout the day? Well, one thing we can do, which is what I believe is the best, is when we're doing what I like to call subconscious activities. These activities are like the things you do where you don't have to think. So it's just your walk to school, your commute to work in the bus or the car, whatever, or you're just sitting in your room and you're just sat there. Whatever it is, you're just using your subconscious, and your conscious is completely full, is completely empty and ready to be used. When we're doing these subconscious activities, this means our thoughts can flow through our conscious, and we can use the entirety of our conscious mind to focus on the thoughts and let them come and go. This means we avoid the congestion because we let them come and go throughout the day so that they are gone by the time we get to bed. So we don't have that huge unloading of thoughts at the same time that causes the anxiety attacks and the problematic thoughts. This is a way we can avoid it or minimize it. Of course, you're still going to have like problematic thoughts in your life. You're still going to have things that happen that may affect sleep and other things. But this is the way to cut out the things that are unnecessarily problematic. If you get one of these problematic thoughts that you know is probably not that necessary, one thing I would suggest is to start journaling like I did before. But you want to journal in a specific way. What do I mean by this? Well, you want to ask questions as if you're a third person. So ask questions like, why do you feel this way? What gave you this thought? What are you afraid of? It's all dependent on the scenario. But for me, like, it would be, why do I want to stop doing YouTube? What's my actual motivation to do YouTube? Do I enjoy making YouTube videos? All these thoughts, all these questions. And you need to answer them in the most rational way possible. From your deepest core. If you're true to your core and you answer these questions, you will get a conclusion. Often. But if you have done this activity and you're still struggling a little bit with the conclusion like I was, I think you should go out in nature. And by go out in nature, I mean, don't bring any technology, don't bring your phone. Leave it in the car, leave it at home, wherever you're going. Just leave it when you go outside into the nature. I believe this is a good method because you're doing a subconscious activity. So you just allow your mind to think through the scenario. And when you do this, it becomes a lot easier because your conscious is fully open to just thinking to this through this idea, rather than being occupied by other tasks and things that are making it harder to solve the problem. So if you are struggling with a problematic issue, I suggest to do journaling and go out in nature and just let your mind think. Shut away from technology, shut off from distractions. Just let your mind think for a bit. Our brains are incredibly busy, so we have to give them time to reload. If we don't, we may end up in scenarios where we get these problematic thoughts, and they can affect our productivity and work and our presence with friends and family. And we know we don't want those. As a result, you'll find it harder to get into flow states and actually focus, which is not good. We don't want these. We don't want to be out of focus. So when we get time to think and let our mind roam free, we must take it. We must let our thoughts just go through our conscious. If we don't do this, our mind will throw all the thoughts up at the moment when it can, which will be before you go to sleep usually. And this is one of the worst times to get it because it can cause sleep loss if it's a really bad scenario and you've been hiding from it all day. You need to face the problem as soon as it comes up. Otherwise, it'll just keep carrying on and on. It's like if you want to start a business, you have to just start it. Otherwise, you're just going to be wondering what might have been. Even if you fail, you still need to do it because at least you know then. But in this scenario, you have to just solve the problem as quick as possible and put effort towards solving it. Otherwise, it's going to affect your productivity, it's going to affect your presence, and you're going to suffer, and so are the people around you. So do you want to be selfish and not let your thoughts go through your mind so that everyone else benefits? I know you'll do the right thing. I know you will let your mind go through the thoughts. Of course, we as men must go through periods of focus. We have to utilize the flow state. We have to go through it is good for us to go through deep periods of like weeks of just focusing on the task, of course. But when we have time to rest, we need to allow the thoughts to run. Otherwise, how are we going to keep that focus throughout numerous weeks and months? It's not going to happen without that. Anyway, I hope you found value in this video. Like and subscribe if you'd like. I really appreciate the views and the likes that have been coming through on all the videos, but especially that Curse of Self-Improvement video. And it's going to be slowing down a little bit with the videos because school and exams are coming up. But after exams, videos will speed up a little bit more again. Yeah, we'll see what happens from there. Anyway, I love you guys. Now stop consuming and go create.